My dear ones, today I am going to continue my narrative of the truth to humanity, and I am aware that all of you would just like to hear good and positive things. Until your reality transforms, we need to disclose the hidden truths to the public. Otherwise, nothing is going to change, and you with the rest of humankind will stay in a low 3D vibrational reality. Now I will reveal some truth about your financial system. Originally, when Anunnaki created fifth-dimensional human beings, you did not have any money system. After high-dimensional humans allowed for the dark galactic civilization to land on Earth, then the human civilization was captured and enslaved. Eventually, the darkness created money. The whole monetary system is based on limitation and lack, to make sure that it's never enough for humanity. Most of the money supply is not under the control of the human population. 3% who owns the majority of the money flow, most of them are serving darkness. The rules were purposely made up in the financial system to create lack and not enough supply of cash for everyone with different variations of inflation. The main version of inflation being, if there is too much money in the country, then it's worthless. Your currency should have been a long time ago backed by gold and minerals, unlike the dollar that is used as the main reserve currency in your world, backed by debt. The negative controllers make a lot of money from this, and they use it as a weapon against any country that doesn't follow their orders by freezing, stealing their assets, and putting sanctions like they did with Russia. They froze and stole $330,000 billion worth of Russian money and assets because of the Ukraine war, which the dark entities forced on Russia. Sadly, most humans fell for the big lie and still believe it coming from darkness, that Putin is an evil dictator and Zelensky is some kind of hero for democracy, which is the complete opposite. President Putin of Russia is the only leader at moment on this planet who actually serves the light, and all of rest the leaders around the world serve evil like Zelensky, who has a Nazi regime in his country, or they serve themselves. Also, the dark NATO and American government put a lot of sanctions on Russia. The sanctions against Russia pushed President Putin to launch aggressively BRICS to create a new currency backed by gold and minerals, with a new system away from the dollar, which won't be used as a weapon against another country and its population. Unfortunately, the United States is going to continue to use their dollar as a weapon against the world who don't follow their orders, and nothing is going to change with the new administration. President Trump recently threatened BRICS nations with 100% tariffs if they try to replace the dollar. He also threatened 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico, 10% on China imports, and the possibility of tariffs for the European Union. President Donald Trump also criticized President Vladimir Putin, saying that he is destroying Russia and the country's economy is not doing well. None of that is true. Trump also threatened Putin with taxes, tariffs, and more sanctions on Russia if he doesn't end the war in Ukraine. President Putin just congratulated him on his election win, and he is open to talk to him about Ukraine and nuclear arms in the manner suitable for Russia. The American government is going to continue to behave in the same way when the Dark Ones were in charge, by bullying and pushing their will on other countries around the globe. Donald Trump wants Greenland to be part of the United States, as it would be great for the national security for the country, because China and Russia are making significant advancements in the Arctic region. He views those two countries as enemies of America. Trump wants to buy or use military force to get Greenland. The people of Greenland are not interested in being part of the United States, and Denmark is not interested in giving up the territory. He talked on the phone with the Danish Prime Minister about taking control of Greenland. She said the island is not for sale, so he threatened Denmark with tariffs. President Trump wants for the Panama Canal to be back in the hands of America, and he is willing to use military force to get, as he feels Panama is charging too much money for American ships to use that canal, and accused China of controlling the Panama Canal. It's not true, Every country pays the same fees to use the water passageway, and even China said that the Panama Canal belongs to Panama. Donald Trump also wants Canada to become the 51st state of the United States, as he feels the trade deficit is too big between the two countries. Canada imports a lot less American goods than America does of Canadian goods. Canadians are not interested to be part of the United States. At the moment, Trump is doing some positive common sense changes in the United States as he loves his country, but nothing outside the 3D rules of this reality. When President Trump says, "Let's make America great again," he really means only America and not the world, as he says the golden age of America is here. Donald Trump stopped funding for foreign aid for 90 days. All of the money going from United States to the countries around the world will stop. The exception of Egypt and Israel, which will still be receiving emergency food aid and military assistance, as they are close allies of America. President Trump renamed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. The not real Joe Biden, who serves darkness, in May of 2024, from the pressure coming from the human population in countries around the globe, suspended the shipment of 2,000-pound bombs to Israel. The dark Israel military was dropping these heavy bombs on Palestinian civilians, like on their houses, apartment buildings, schools, hospitals, and mosques, basically completely destroying the whole public infrastructure in Gaza. Trump recently reversed Biden's decision. Now Israel will again be receiving shipments of 2,000-pound bombs from the United States. He also suggested to move 2.1 million Palestinians from Gaza to Jordan, Egypt, and other Arab nations. This is exactly on what the dark government of Israel wants, to drive all of the Palestinians from that territory and to take their land for themselves. This the main reason the negative IDF military destroyed almost everything in Gaza. The brains and the financial system for the negative ones is based and being operated from the United Kingdom. Most of the humans are not aware of this, that the United States still belongs to UK and it's a colony of England. America never got its independence from United Kingdom and still pays taxes to the dark royal family of former British Empire. Basically, the Americans today are paying their taxes to England and not to the United States. America is the main base of the negative controllers, and a lot of them are in the country and in the government. It serves as the body of darkness. Why do you think the United States has not been attacked or invaded inside the country? The dark ones are not going to attack themselves and their main base. In Europe, Switzerland is the brain and money operation center for the negative souls. Most of the European countries pay taxes to Switzerland for the dark controllers, and the base is France. In the Middle East, Israel is the control center and base for the negative entities, as it keeps Middle Eastern countries in the darkness. The weather on your planet continues to behave in unpredictable way as part of the ascension process to the fifth dimension. Recently, in a few states in the USA, which usually have warm climate, instead had snowfall in those places. Florida, that is known for having warm weather and humidity all year round, it had a snow blizzard. The Texas state, which has very hot weather most of the year, also received a snowstorm in cities like Galveston and Houston. Please read carefully these two parts of my message, and all of this information is given only for your benefit, as you need to know on what is really happening around your reality, and not what the false media sources are portraying. Also, regarding Trump, I want to explain to everyone that he is not awake as you think he is. He is going to change and improve America as it's his country, but not the world. Unless he gets awake, Donald Trump will only do everything on a human level, on what makes sense for him and not for the humanity. Only the United States will benefit from his presence and his ability to improve the lives of Americans. Look on how many things he has done in the first week of his presidency. If President Trump really served and represented the light, then by now he would have announced a new financial system, medbeds, galactic disclosure, and ACT for the world, which would have speed up the ascension process for the human civilization to 5D. We have been bringing to your attention many times, please don't follow false information and use your soul's discernment and not your mind. Otherwise, you can end up being disappointed with Trump or anyone else if they don't deliver on what you are expecting from them. Divine has her own plan on how this transformation will happen and how it will be delivered and through whom only Divine knows. And she is not going to disclose it until the right time comes for the human population to know. Please stop speculating and assuming things. Just follow the flow of the universe without any expectations. I am sending my blessings and supreme love to every human being on Gaia. Thank you, Ambassador of Galactic Light Forces. Stay in the light and truth. Saint Germain, channeled by Erena Velazquez, Ambassador of Galactic Light Forces.
Weird, but it was beautiful. Flying in a dream, stars by the pocketful. You wanting me tonight feels impossible. But it's coming down, no sound, it's all around, like snow on the beach. Like snow on the flags.
Way to describe it other than surreal, because it's just, I can't imagine my 15 years of storm chasing ever covering a storm to this caliber along the Gulf Coast. I mean, along I-10 and crossing into Pensacola Beach last night, it was near blizzard conditions in Florida of all places. That's just two things that don't seem like they should go hand in hand, but with this particular storm, they certainly did. And that's why we call it a once in generational storm, because it just does not happen. This area got anywhere between 6 to 8 inches of snow. A couple of the bridges do remain closed back over to the mainland, and the main one crossing over the Pensacola Bay still remains closed this morning with no ETA to be open. And I expect the same to be the case along I-10. While the sun is out, though, it's helping to melt a little bit of that snow. However, that doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet, guys. When this melts tonight, when those temperatures fall back, this is all going to refreeze and create a whole lot of problems as the evening goes on. And a lot of times after the storm is when we run into the bigger issues with those car accidents, because people let their guard down, they start venturing out, and then it catches them off guard. I haven't seen a single snowplow. I have not seen really a single effort to be able to clear this off, because it simply just doesn't exist. The main priority with what few plows that they have are going to be for Interstate 10. And before they can get to these areas, they have to make sure that that's cleared and running, because that's a main artery that goes from east to west. So I would expect, unfortunately, these scenes to remain for at least the next day or two before they can start catching up on a lot of these county highways and side roads. And it's very interesting seeing this much snow and not hearing a single snowblower, not seeing a single snow shovel, and not seeing a single snowplow, because they don't need it down here. They don't know what to do.